There. Welcome to Tech Talk Weekly. I'm Bob from Creation Station. This is our weekly show where we talk about 2 to 3 interesting tech topics in the news, give you a fun library idea, and send you on your way in about 15-20 minutes. As always, if you have a story you'd like us to talk about, Creation Station at broward.org comes right to me. Today, I've got a very cool guest. Tiffany, how are you doing?
Hi, how are you? I'm great.
Tiffany is out at the Sterling Road Library, but she is actually predates me for Creation Station. It's
Yes,
crazy.
yes.
She was the person who was working in our Creation Station when we did the soft opening back in December of 2014, and I was officially hired in 2015 in January. So she actually has been doing this. We'll teasingly say she's been doing this longer than I have.
Definitely.
How are things out there for you out there at Sterling Road?
Oh, it's awesome. I love it. I love it.
What's going on? What's going on with the stuff out there? How are the people coming back in?
Yes, definitely. They've been too anxious, and now with us back open on Sundays, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. But there's just because, and yeah, that place has always been. I've been out there for science fairs, and we've done so many programs and events out there. Yeah, that place is always hopping. It's it's
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be great. Let's jump into the news stories today because we've got some fun. I think these are some really good meaty stories without being too horrible of news type things this week.
Yes.
Um, the first one's really fun. This is the Webb telescope. And it's pretty straightforward and simple. On the left-hand side is Spitzer, which was the previously best telescope we had out there to look at stars. And on the right-hand side, seeing the exact same image, but now on the Webb. Is that just amazing how good a quality we've been moved up to?
Exactly. That's exactly what I said when I saw the two images.
It's just crazy. And so one of these things, this is the infrared instrument that's out there. That's what the MIRI stands for.
Hmm.
And this is going to allow, everybody in NASA to start really taking a look at some of these things and getting now. This is not the final version either. This is them tuning up the microscope and tuning up the telescope sensors to get it. All those little mirrors we talked about that a couple of months ago on the show. All those mirrors that have to align just perfectly. That's why you've got that the look here for the Webb up here, all the little hexagon things. All those
Hmm.
mirrors coming together to make that perfect view. What do you want them to find, Tiff?
I don't know. I'm interested in what they will find.
Did you see the other news story from there? It wasn't from the Web, but they got the new image of the black hole.
Yes,
That
I did. That was
that
scary.
yeah. It's interesting to see what's going to happen with that one. Yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That's a huge monster. There's just they got a new picture of the large black hole that's at the center of the Milky Way galaxy. And yeah, when they turn Webb on that thing, and they get
Mm.
really good clear pictures of them, can you imagine what we're going to be able to see and do?
I'm actually excited to see because just based off of this picture and how much more you can see from the first image, it's just beautiful. So I'm ready.
And it's got those rays that come out of the star. That's all an artifact of
Hmm.
how the mirror angles all work and stuff like that. So we're going to get that starlight twinkle that we are kind of used to seeing. And it's going to
Yes,
be on all these images that come back. And man, Hubble was cool, but this is going to be amazing.
exactly.
It's going to be crazy, crazy, crazy. Speaking of crazy, so Elon Musk wants to buy Twitter. He's probably going to buy Twitter. I mean,
Hmm.
he's bought all the stock. He's made his big deal about it. The board of Twitter has approved the sale, so it's probably going to happen. It has to pass some regulator stuff. Um, but so one of the things he said about Twitter buying it is he wants to authenticate all humans so that everybody has a real identity on Twitter. Tiffany, you're a woman online. Tell me what could possibly go wrong if
A lot. I don't agree with that decision at all. I do not like it because it definitely takes away the idea of people not wanting to be them true selves or people knowing who you truly are. You might have crazy people out there, stalkers. I don't think that's a great idea. I don't agree with that.
It's just craziness with it should be something where you can be verified if you want to,
Hmm.
and you should be definitely, verifying bots and saying this is a bot that you're following. I've got one on Twitter. I've got a couple of bots that I actually willingly want to follow on Twitter. I've got one that's no, it's an aquarium,
Okay.
and they put out just every so often they put little emoji fish as a tweet. That's all
Oh,
it is. So
okay.
it's just like as you're scrolling along and you're getting mad about things and you're just like frustrated about this news or whatever, all of a sudden there you go. Here's a little aquarium. Here's a little fish swimming in your Twitter feed for a few minutes, so that you can appreciate and you can just calm down, and then you can keep on
Hmm.
scrolling by. So I'm okay with bots, or at
Right.
least knowing what they are. If I know it's a bot or not, I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with forcing people to give their real name behind things.
Exactly. Exactly. And after reading this article with some of the women, I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's a great idea. I truly believe that will put a lot of people at risk. So I
They
don't think
they talk
that.
about in the article here. They talk about the idea of people in Saudi Arabia. They don't even mention like how bad it is in Afghanistan for women right now.
Hmm.
Um, and just the whole idea of journalists trying to get people to give them stories and give them
Exactly.
real information, whistleblower type stuff. You've got to have a way of doing this. And if you move it off of Twitter, where everyone can see it, then it goes into those darker back channel things like, Telegram or WhatsApp or
Hmm.
other places like that. And now you're going to be blocking it out from other people and just subject to even more harassment, possibly.
Exactly.
Just not thrilled with this idea. It's one of those things that maybe someone might think is a good idea before you really start digging into it. And in the article,
Yeah.
they point out Facebook tries this. Facebook tries to force you to have a real name thing, and it doesn't work very well.
I don't personally have Facebook. Thank goodness that I don't. But I know on the social media sites that I do have, I do not have my real information because it's like, why are you looking for me? If you know me personally, that's fine, but I don't need to be attached to what I say. And I think that's what he's missing, where it's like, okay, I want to be able to freely say what I want to say, but to keep my face and name out of it so it won't get back to me or people attached to me. And they're not thinking about any of those consequences that may come from it.
Yeah, I know. And what do you do with businesses? What do you do with organizations? I mean, the library has a Twitter feed. Who's responsible for
Exactly.
being the library? Who's responsible for Broward County Schools, for all the various I mean, I follow like 6 different clubs, for robotics and stuff like that. Who's going to be who's the person behind that? It shows me exactly. It's Broward County Schools, STEM labs or whatever it is. And
When you put it like that, that is definitely true because you even have businesses like, for example, Wendy's and stuff. They have these Twitters and everything else when they respond to someone, and it's like, so you want a face and the name to be attached to that person? I don't foresee it actually happening. Hopefully, it doesn't.
yeah, it's going to be an interesting thing of how to do it. I think that that's one of his ideas for trying to get revenue is, well, we're going to charge you then. And if you're
Oh
going to be charging
gosh,
me, then I just won't be there. Hey,
exactly.
hey, I'm more than willing to watch and view the feed. I mean, I use it to get news stories and stuff. I get news stories for this show off of there, but no, yeah, I'm not paying
Mm-mm.
for it.
Yeah,
You've already paid for it with my information and all, just like this next story, right? You paid for it with all these
exactly.
other things.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna give you cash out of my pocket too. Um, this story has a lot of angles to it, to not make a bad pun. So Clearview AI, to make sure everybody understands who this company is. They are a private company that goes around and they just scrape data off the internet. Everything they do is perfectly legal. Let's get that out of the way. Um, they go onto Facebook, they go onto Twitter, they go onto TikTok, they go onto all the different things, and they just grab every possible image they can, and they correlate those images with real names and put that all together so that you can go to them and do a search for a person, and you would get, if you did a pick by, just like we talked about before, if I go look up Tiffany there on that database, I would get a picture of you. Or if I show them a picture of you, they will return your name to me and associated data. And that is something that they have charged people for. So the ACLU sued them in court, and they, back in 2020, saying that what they were doing violated the law in the state of Illinois, because the state of Illinois says you cannot collect biometric data from someone without their express permission before collecting it. What do you think? Did you ever hear about Clearview before this, Tiffany?
I did. And the only reason why I did, because since I have an iPhone and along with some social medias, I wasn't too fond of that. And I went to Chicago recently, so it kind of like, I was like, no, I didn't like that.
It is. So I'm torn on this settlement. Oh, by the way, there's a great finale. If you want to get a quick hear a short bit on this, Marketplace Tech did a great talk with the ACLU lawyers about that whole story there. It's a quick 15-minute listen. They'll
Mhm.
get you up to speed on the pros and cons and all that kind of stuff, and hearing from both sides, from Clearview also. Here's my problem with this. People are cheering because Illinois has a very strict law to restrict something, and everybody's like, yes, this is good. And now they're going to use that strict law in that one state to enforce all sorts of new restrictions on everybody else in the United States. Does that sound familiar about another big topic in the news? And I'm not so certain I want one state doing that. I want this kind of stuff to be done at a federal level. I want it to be a national law that we are protected, that everybody's biometric information is safe, is secure, is yours. You get to say what you want to have done with it. Because as I do in our computer security classes that we teach for the library, passwords you can change. You can't change your face.
Mm-mm.
Do you use biometrics on any of your computer stuff?
Not really.
Do you use fingerprint scan on your iPhone?
Nope, just face recognition.
See, I don't even do that. I'm pure passwords all the time, typing them out, having to remember these, 15, 20 years. I don't even like the idea of using a password manager. I still just try and remember and set up, memorable
I'm
passwords for
guilty.
each site to be different. But yeah. So, I mean, who do you think's got information about you out there?
I'm sure everyone does.
Thinking,
Everyone
no,
that I
thinking,
use,
thinking about that now. Who do you think's got it?
I think Google for sure. Um,
Because
maybe
you've posted pictures on
Instagram.
Google?
I post reviews all the time.
Okay.
Like
Is your picture there?
some of them, yes. So I'm
Okay.
sure they have it. Yelp, yeah, they have it definitely. Things like that, which now scares me because
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's just stuff we all were doing, we're sharing because we felt safe and confident that,
hmm
hey, I trust Google, that Google is going to keep my information for their purpose because they want to sell ads. They want to, they want to be able to do ads to people about me and stuff like that. It's kind of like why I trust Amazon. I know Amazon's thing. They want to sell me
hmm
more stuff. So as long as I'm
right.
cognizant of that and paying attention. But yeah, it's not fair. It's not fair. I know life is not always fair, but that somebody else is going out scraping that data off of Google, as you said, off of Instagram, And
Hmm.
then they're taking my personal stuff and selling it to other people, plus the idea of law enforcement using this
Hmm.
and just saying, here's a picture of the crowd. We want to know everyone's name who was in that crowd
Right.
at that time. Doesn't matter what you were doing, why you were there, anything like that. They don't need a warrant. They just go buy this and do it. Up till this settlement this week. So now with this settlement, in theory, no company in the United States can go to Clearview and get this information. No police organizations can, except at the federal level. Um, One of the things that this stopped was you actually had to pay. If you're a police department, you had to pay Clearview to have access to this data. But one of the ways to get around it was individual police officers would sign up for free personal accounts
Wow.
and then get the information that way as they're doing their warrantless searches and stuff like that. Yeah, uh-huh.
People always find loopholes, which is sad
And can't
because
picture anything that could go wrong with that one either, huh?
how would that even be admissible? It's crazy.
It's just, it's one of those things that you don't realize is going on in the background of all this other stuff. And then
Yes.
once, like the ACLU, it goes out there and makes a big case out of it and then solves it. So again, I'm of two minds. I'm very glad they've stopped Clearview. It made them
Hmm.
agree that this is what they're going to be doing, from having, private companies have access to this. And for the most part, law enforcement's going to have a much harder time getting the information without a warrant. And again, you just said, they're going to find a loophole. This only
Yeah.
applies in the United States to United
Which
States
sucks.
companies. So if I go
Yeah.
set up a company in the Bahamas, I can then have my company in the Bahamas ask all the same questions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should
Again,
definitely be on a national level.
right. Again, this is why we cannot let things, critical things that affect, how much of the population be decided on a state by state basis. We need
Exactly.
federal regulation. We need Congress to work together and solve this kind of thing. That's just the way it is, right?
I agree. I agree. Definitely.
It is just a crazy, crazy thing out there. Uh, how much are you going to try and get rid of now?
Google is start to start. I don't they have to go
No, you
first.
can't. You can go on Google. You can go in there and delete all your information that's on Google. There's if you
Yeah.
follow through their security settings, they do provide a way to go in and delete all of that stuff. Just like Amazon provides a way to delete all of your saved stuff that's on Amazon. Facebook doesn't quite do it.
That's
They're
why I
willing
don't
to
have them.
delete they're Facebook's willing to delete your public information, but they still keep it in the background for themselves.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Uh-huh. I know. I know. I know. I know. What's going on out there at Sterling Road? What you guys are doing? What kind of programs you got coming up?
Honestly, I like to say our biggest thing that we're about to do is the community health fair that we're doing.
When is that coming up?
It's next Thursday on the 19th.
Excellent, excellent. So just is there it's all in person? Is there any
Yes, so we're gonna
registration?
have like no registration. Everyone's just welcome to come out. It's from 12 to 5. It's gonna be at least 30 different vendors from all walks of life. Police officers, people from the school board, just a whole bunch of different people. It's gonna be people out there doing mammograms. It's a lot. It's a
Oh,
lot.
they're gonna have a
They get
bloodmobile drive out there too, I'm guessing.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. It was a little bit too much at first, but it's all coming together. So I'm kind of excited for it. I know it's gonna be an all day thing. It's gonna be a whole huge crowd, especially with us having the construction going on right on our front street. Since that's the only way
Oh,
in, it's just gonna be crazy. But
you
it's
guys are
gonna be
right.
here.
Just so everybody knows, you're right on Sterling Road, just west of 95.
Yes,
So it's an easy location to get to, especially if you're in the south end of the county. Go on in, go see it. It's a nice little long. It's a long bowling alley of a library, but it's fun. I
yes,
love that place. I've done a
yes.
couple of fun, cool events there, so it's
Hmm.
gonna be great. I'm so glad you're here today, Tiff. Thank you so much for doing this with us.
You're welcome. Not a problem. This is actually very fun. I enjoyed it.
Thanks. Let me throw up our end slide here for everybody. If you have a favorite library person or library you want to see featured on the show, email us creationstation@broward.org. I am off next week for vacation. We're going to have Autumn from Maine Library as our guest host. We'll see you in 2 weeks, everybody. Have a great day.